This is Lesson Introductory Algebra 4.2, Comparing Integers. Our target for today is to compare and order integers. Comparing integers, we will be looking at two integers and determining which one is the larger and which one is the smaller. When we order integers, we will actually be looking at ordering integers from least to greatest. True or false, 1 is greater than negative 200,000. I want you to think about that. And we'll return to the answer after we look at the first example. Here we have example number 1. We have 3 different problems in which we are comparing 3 different sets of integers. The first set of integers, negative 4 and 0, have been plotted on the number line for us. Through the use of this number line, we can immediately see which one is the greater of the two. The larger value is 0, and that's because it is furthest to the right. The number that is furthest to the right will be the largest. The number that is furthest to the left will be the smallest. So going back up to the comparison of these two integers, we'll place the less than sign because negative 4 is less than 0. When we go to the next problem, negative 3, and comparing it to negative 5, we'll plot that on the number line as well. Negative 3 is right here. Negative 5 right here. We see that negative 3 is furthest to the right on the number line. That means negative 3 is the bigger number, which means negative 3 is greater than negative 5. We're going to put that negative 3 is greater than negative 5 right there. Moving on to negative 6 and 7. We're going to go ahead and plot those on the number line as well. Negative 6 right here. Negative 7, we're going to have to make a mark on this number line, or I should say 7. I keep on saying negative 7. We'll make 7 there, place the dot on there, and it's obvious that 7 is furthest to the right of negative 6. Therefore, negative 6 is going to be the smaller of the two. In other words, negative 6 is less than 7. Now, when we go back to our earlier question, 1 is greater than negative 200,000, that actually is true. Because if we were to plot 1 on this number line, we could put a tick mark here and plot 1, make a dot, and then negative 200,000. I think we'll go ahead and put a break in this number line just for purposes of understanding this is not to scale. And we'll place negative 200,000 on this side of the number line. And we see immediately that negative 200,000 is smaller than 1 because it is furthest to the left. In fact, all positive integers are greater than all negative integers. This is true. Let's move to the final example, example 2, and it gives us a little bit of history. It says, Seneca, Oregon is located in the mountains of eastern Oregon. Seneca holds the record for the lowest temperature ever recorded in Oregon at negative 54 degrees Fahrenheit in February of 1933. The table shows the 4 lowest temperatures on record in Seneca since 1948, so over a decade later, when digital records began. List the temperatures from least to greatest. So if we take a look at the table, we see the dates in which these lowest temperatures were recorded. For example, back in 1957 and 1985, the lowest temperature was negative 43. 78 and 62, it was negative 41. So what we're going to do is we are going to place these numbers onto our number line in order to figure out which is the least, which is the greatest. We're going to start with negative 43. When we look at negative 43, we know it's between negative 45 and negative 40. So it's probably closer, well, we know it's closer to negative 45, so I'm going to put the dot there. And then I'm going to expand this so I can fit in negative 43 as our number. Next we go to negative 41. Negative 41 is also between negative 40 and negative 45. Put the dot there and put negative 41 right underneath that dot. The third one is negative 40, and we already have a tick mark on the number line for negative 40, so that'll be easy to make the dot apparent. The last one is negative 48. Negative 48, which is between negative 45 and negative 50 and closer to negative 50. Negative 48 right there. It is pretty apparent that the lowest value, the lowest temperature from that table is negative 48. The highest temperature from that table is 40, and that's because of their positions on the number line. Negative 40 is furthest to the right, negative 40 is furthest to the left. So now we simply record it from least to greatest. We start with negative 48, which is furthest to the left, then negative 43, then negative 41, and the largest of the numbers is negative 40. Or another way to say it, the greatest of the values is negative 40. And there we go. You have learned now how to order and compare decimals. Not decimals, but integers.